You're such an asshole.
This is going to be an email. This will be one of the questions why you listen to the old captain here, okay? Because you guys, you're out there running around, jumping out of trees, running into bushes. You got to pay attention to the old captain here. I have a video request. Hey, Claire, I have a video request, but I also wanted to give you a quick update on the previous video you did for me. You did a video for me last week about the tellers at Wells Fargo. How can we help you? Flirting with the customers to drum up business, which I said they weren't. They're forced to. They're not flirting. They're inquiring about your day because they will get fired if they don't generate enough accounts. That's why they had that whole fake accounts being generated so some people could keep their jobs. I paid more attention while waiting in line yesterday, and I'll be damned. You're absolutely fucking right. Well, of course, yes. You didn't listen. What? You didn't believe me? You didn't listen? You paid good money to have me tell you the truth, and you didn't listen. Nobody listens, nobody loves. That's it. Sad story of my life. I decided to test your theory further. When I got to a cute teller, I flirted with her and asked her out. I dug deep and turned on the charm. When she asked what I was doing that evening, as they all typically do, I told her I was going to go out for a nice dinner. When she said that sounded funny, I told her, yeah, but there's one little problem. Okay, that's not charm. That's schmaltzy. Yeah, there's one little problem. Gee, I wonder where this is going. When she asked what the problem was, I told her, well, it's just I hate eating alone. Maybe you could help me out with that. Fucking cheesy, I know, but okay, that's not charming, that's cheesy. You got it, that's cheesy. There's the two CHs, that was cheesy, not charming. By my experience, if the girl laughs or smiles, you're doing okay. She had a stunned look on her face like a deer in headlights. I think maybe she's used to flirting with the man. She's not flirting, dude. She is not flirting. This is not flirting. She doesn't want to have anything to do with you. She wants your fucking money. She doesn't even want your money. She wants to be able to take your money from one account, move it to another, so she gets a little... Here's another thing you do at Wells Fargo. Look up on their wall, and there'll be little banners with their names on them. This used to be when I was banking at Wells Fargo. It could change now. And you get a little banner with Tina and Amy and Fred and Bill. And then they get little pins every time they open 50 accounts or 100 little pins. It's like their little Boy Scout badge thing. All right? That's what they're doing. That's what they get when they get to move one set of your cash into another account. It's not flirting. But never actually met one that had the balls to ask her out. But you're the only one thinking that they're flirting with them. After a couple seconds, the shock wore off and she got her shit together. She said, I'd like to, but I'm not really allowed to date account holders, which I could have told you, which I'm guessing is bullshit. No, they're not allowed. That's the rules. You are not allowed to date clients. She then promptly changed the subject and tried to tell me about why I needed a Wells Fargo business card. Alright, so you had a very awkward situation and you scared the piss out of this girl because you didn't believe me and you had to test it. Cappy, you made a great fucking call. I honestly thought my fat bank account was getting these girls wet. No, it turns out they're all whores, but not gold digging. They're not whores. They're innocent, poor kids put in a horrible situation by their bosses. Okay? They don't want to constantly sell up to you. They don't want to say, hey, do you want to open a bit? They are being forced to do that. This is not a whore. Apparently these girls are some sort of weird banking whores. No, they're not. Which is fucking sad. I have more respect for a gold digging whore if for no other reason than it seems a smarter choice. They're young kids who just want to pay rent. That's all they are. Anyway, this recent Wells Fargo nonsense got me thinking. As my health continued to improve, I'm probably going to start, or at least try and start dating someone again in 2017. My real estate business is doing well. I have a net worth of about $2 million and growing. When in a relationship is a good time to talk about money? Great question. In the past, I've tried to get a feel for their debt load and spending habits early on in order to make sure we're compatible. But once I know they make good choices about money, I've never really been sure when it's appropriate to sit down and talk about assets. To an extent, financially at least, I view marriage as a merger. It's tricky. She does deserve to know she's dating a guy that can provide, etc. I disagree. Just like I deserve to know she's not a spendthrift, debt-laden cunt. I'm wondering if it's something that maybe shouldn't even be talked about prior to engagement for fear that knowing I have money will influence her decision to say I do. That's smart, yep. On the other hand, it usually takes a couple of years to get to that point. It really seems like these things should be talked about well before that, because the Wells Fargo thing, this has been on my mind all week. I appreciate some insight and some clarity, wisdom, and we'll keep you anonymous. All right, so I took some notes here. You are absolutely 100% correct. Finances is the number one cited cause of divorce, and another man's larger penis is the other one. That's the real. But let's talk about finances, because that is a serious thing. All right, there are your finances, and there are her finances. You, especially since you are a millionaire, do not talk about your finances. I had a client who was he was a surgeon, he was a physician, but he was a super physician. He was managing the fucking hospital. This was top line dude, and I know the hospital, I won't mention it. It is a large, prestigious hospital, and he made fucking money. And he could find out while all the girls dating him were dumber than shit. They're really pretty, and they're really, and I said, okay, send me a couple pictures. So he's got a fucking Bentley. He's got a picture of these babes. They're 20-something ditzes. He's like in his 40s or younger 50s. He's got this schwank pad in a schwank neighborhood. I'm like, dude, just put a sign out that says sucker. Say, take my money. All right? You got to do the same thing. So you don't let her know you have money. Okay? Now you work in real estate development. You're a foreman, okay? You go around, you manage properties for the owners. They own these properties, and you're kind of their right hand man. And well, you make all right money. You make 65. You know, it's a living. It's a living. And you drive a car that corresponds to that. If you got a fucking Bentley or Beamer or something, get the fuck rid of it. Get a Ford. Get a truck, because you're a foreman now, and that's what you're gonna fucking do. All right. You don't let any girl know you got $2 million sitting in the bank. You do not let them know, especially if you're rich. If you're poor, it's all right, because then they're gonna like you for you, because you can be honest. And I've been honest my entire life. Babe, I'm poor. Nope. I'm just amazing in bed. That's my only quality. Yes. That is not the rest. I ain't got a dime. I ain't got a dime. So, and you let that go for a long ass time. I don't even know if you ever let her know, frankly. I would just keep that shut, hide it. So she doesn't find out about your finances. Now, her finances, you could certainly ask, but it's not that hard to figure out. One, because people are, whereas finances are their private business, people don't mind really sharing at least the key data of their finances that will allow you to reconstitute their financial picture quite accurately. I mean, you're not going to have all the bits and pieces to the puzzle, but you'll be able to figure it out pretty close. And so what you're going to do is you're going to reconstitute her finances from the ground up. So the key major ones, her apartment or her mortgage. What does that cost? You're going to be able to figure that out easy, even without directly asking her. You can directly say, what is it, if you don't mind me asking, what's a place like this rent for? Okay, most girls rent because they don't buy property. They just don't. There's very few single women that buy property. So for those that have a mortgage, you'll find out you can ballpark and say, what's your mortgage on this? So you get that big expense right off the bat, the mortgage or the rent. The next thing, the car. You're going to look at the car. Is it expensive? And cars nowadays are really expensive. I had no idea, just what brand new cars are like. But find out, what kind of car is this? Oh, did you buy it used? Oh, how many miles? And all you have to do is go to Kelly's Blue Book or go look up, what kind of financing an auto dealer can get you. You got their second largest expense. Third one, student loans. They'll talk about their student loans. How much you got in student loans? There, once again, you could go ahead, do maybe a 10 to 15 year amortization, reverse engineer. You're in commercial real estate. You'll know how to do this. Kind of ballpark what a amortization schedule would be. Figure out her monthly payment there. Then you got her student loans. And then just all the other shit is just looking around her house or her apartment or seeing what her spending habits are. Does she go out every night with the girlfriends? Does she piss away her money on clothes? Does she have little nice shit all over the house? Unnecessary shit? All right. And then when she's going through a wallet, kind of eyeball, see how many credit cards she happens to have. Which is kind of hard to do, but kind of watch as she pays. Does she pull out this card? Does she pull out that card? How many cards do you have? Say, Jesus, woman, how many cards do you have? And they'll brag because they think it's cute and funny. Oh, I have 7. Oh, You pay those all off, right, at the end of the month? No, I couldn't. It's funny being in debt, spending other people's money I can't pay back, because that's what we do. So, and for me personally, the apartment, the car, and the student loans right there will tell me. And I'll be able to eyeball it with clothes. But I can look at that and say, fuck no. Because a gal who's buying her Beamer or driving her Mercedes, and then here's the other side of the equation. I'm sorry, getting ahead of myself. Then you juxtapose that against her job. Now, if she has the Mercedes, the nice apartment, and is like this top dog junior partner at some big-time law firm, all right. Or she's a surgeon running the hospital. It's like, oh, okay, well, this makes sense. Then your concerns should more or less be assuaged that you don't have to worry about finances, especially if she's making more than you. But if she's like most typical single women, she has some, and another thing, the degree, find out what her degree is. Like most single women who are under 40, they have a worthless degree, they're paying off their student loans, and you'll be able to find out between their job and their degree, what do they make? Say, oh, what are you? I sell clothes at the local clothes shop. All right, look that up. That's like 25 to 35 grand a year. And then you could kind of put together and reconstitute her personal budget and say, this girl's either spending more, spending less, or spending about as much as she takes in. And then you'll be able to figure out what her personal financial situation is like. Me personally, I do not date women that have worthless jobs. Well, I don't date women, but back in the day. And what I would recommend today, I would not date a woman who does not pay off her credit card. Like every month she pays that balance down to zero. I do not date women. I don't date women with debt unless you have a mortgage on a reasonable house that makes sense. And maybe a car. I can understand some people need a reliable car, but nothing egregious. No fancy sports car. But if the girl has a fair amount of credit card debt, she has certainly student loans. You do not date a girl with student loans. I mean, you can fuck them, but you do not get serious with them. Because they're a financial liability. Look at their balance sheet. Do they have a net worth? Okay, maybe consider. Is that net worth negative? Nope, forget it. Absolutely do not. Because then who's going to bail them out? You're going to have to bail them out. So there's that. Now, you had kind of a... I want to make sure. I'm never really sure it's appropriate. Now, when is it appropriate to sit down and talk about assets? To an extent, financially, I view marriage is tricky. Okay, so here's what you do. You will inevitably have to talk about finances. But that is when you're about to get married or considering getting engaged or becoming a serious boyfriend-girlfriend. So there's the frivolous, happy, fun honeymoon time when you're going out, you're dating, you're having a good time. If once you find out that the girl is a financial liability, then it has not gotten too serious, say, yeah, you know what, it's just not for me. I'm just too busy for work. It's not you. It's not me. Tell them the lies we've always been telling them. And then let them go. If you find out that they're a financial risk. But then you'll find some girls, down the road who got their shit together. They're engineers. They're accountants. They live within their means. They have, based on what you could tell, is budgeting. And if you like that girl and you want to move forward, all right, now you're starting to look at a steady girlfriend. Say, look, I don't make a lot of money. I grew up poor. And this is the lie you tell them. Whether you grew up rich or poor, this is the lie you tell them. I grew up poor and I struggled to become the foreman with this used truck. And finances are very important to me. And I'm thinking, like, if we're going to go forward and this might lead down towards engagement or marriage, I need someone on the exact same page with me in terms of finances. And that is no debt. We do the Dave Ramsey thing. We read Bachelor Pad Economics. Whatever else. Tell them your parents got divorced. Oh, shit, she could follow up on that, couldn't she, though? Your parents struggled, like if they're still married, saying that finances made their marriage hard, it made it hard on the family. If they're divorced, say that's why they got divorced. It's a finances are very, very important to me. And then that's where you can lay it down, because you'll find out you'll be able to figure out she's pretty good on the finances. But then this will lay down the law. Probably the most important thing to lay down the law for in terms of a marital or long-term relationship is your finances. Like, no, we will not have debt. No, we will not buy a house we can't afford. No, we will not get luxury cars. We will spend money on ourselves and experiences. And that is not only going to protect your finances, but it's going to make sure that she's on the same team. Make sure she's on the same game plan. And further lay down the tone that, hey, you just pulled the alpha move. You're the guy. You're going to be the arbiter of things to final decisions. And you like a minimalistic or at least a frugal and wise family budget, wise financial plan for your family. And then you'll find out, maybe once by this time you'll have an idea whether or not she's a spendthrift. But then she'll say, yeah, no, I totally agree. I want to pay off my debt today. And I want to see your finances. All right. I want to see, do you have credit card debts? Because I'm not dating a girl, and seriously, unless she has no credit card debts and no student loans. And then that provided, so you'll be like, well, I have some student loans. All right. You got to get rid of them. I'd like to continue on, but, we can still date, but I'm not going to be serious until you get your finances together. So get rid of your credit card debts, get rid of your car loan, get rid of your student loans, stuff like that. And they will, because I've seen it happen before. Girl got rid of her auto loans and her credit card debt and her student loans like within a year and a half from me. I'm like, yeah, impressive, bravo. That's how it's fucking done. So, but then now for every other guy out there, most guys are that guy who drives the truck and makes a $65,000 a year, and we're all very happy. You are a unique situation. And that's where, for your particular situation, boy, I would just not tell her. I would just not tell her. See if there's a way to hide your career. It was because the doctor, I said, well, just tell her you're a nurse, or leave your uniform at work. It's going to be hard, but that kind of money women will change for. And so until you really, 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 really know that you can trust that girl, just keep a lid on your finances. And then maybe once you're married, well, in your case, before you get married, say, I insist on, while you're giving her the speech that your parents broke up because of finances, you're going to insist on a prenup. You've seen enough friends get divorced and taken to the courts and the cleaners that you're going to get a prenup and have it signed. And then she'll find out, because both lawyers will be involved, like, you have how much? She'll be like, well, I'm not really the foreman. Anyway, so that's what I would do. Keep it on the down low with your finances. And for any man out there who does make decent money, these girls do not need to know while you're in the dating stages. They don't even need to necessarily know while you're in the courtship stage or like engagement stage. But that is how you can financially assess a girl's finances. They'll tell you what it is. They're not going to hide it. And it'll definitely screen out the vast majority of them. And then for the few that seem to have their financial act together, you got to make sure you are on the same plan, that we are not taking on debt. We are not, I know you went from daddy with credit card to student loan. No debt. Dave Ramsey shit. We are not slaves to anyone. And then if you're particularly rich, prenuptial contract. So anyway, hope that helped out. Best of luck to all of you. Toodles.